I want to note that when I first began my search for Montessori school, I noticed that what I saw before me looked quite different than what I had seen online. If you often come across Montessori images and videos online, it's important to know that those typically showcase new, expensive playrooms in newly built homes. The majority of Montessori schools are situated in older buildings and with more used materials. That's not a bad thing. Keep this in mind while searching for a school. First, check online to see if the school is affiliated with or accredited by AMS or AMI. If it isn't, it's not necessarily a deal breaker. A lot of good Montessori schools aren't accredited for different reasons. Accreditation is usually a multi year process that not all schools are able to undertake. It's a good sign, though, if they are an active part of a local Montessori network. Check to see if the director and teachers are Montessori trained. The head teacher in a classroom should be certified with a diploma from AMS or AMI. The assistant may or may not hold a diploma. The director should be also credentialed in some way by a legitimate Montessori institution. Confirm that there is a 3 hour work cycle in the mornings. This 3 hour work cycle is a hallmark of the Montessori classroom and is what sets it apart from other types of daycares and schools where the activities are directed by the teacher and usually change every 30 to 45 minutes. With 3 hours of work time, students are allowed to both change activities if they want, but are also free to get engrossed in interesting work, such as joyfully pinpunching all the continents of Africa, which I saw a 4-year-old doing when I toured the classroom in this picture. The idea behind the 3 hour work cycle is that the students don't have to wait for the teacher to direct their activities. They learn to direct their own. If the prepared environment is the heart of the Montessori classroom, the 3 hour work cycle is its heartbeat. They go hand in hand. I like to ask about the teachers and how long they've been there. The schools that I've liked most had retained their set of core teachers for 10 years or more, usually. This is another way Montessori schools are often different from daycares, especially chain daycares, where a lot of the staff are college students or recent graduates who may not have the same presence as veteran teachers. A mix of both old and new teachers is fine, but a low teacher turnover rate is a good sign. Fifth, don't pick a school without doing an observation first. In my favorite schools, the mood was always calm and joyful, not bustling. It was quiet, but not pin drop silent. Most students were working, but some were milling about picking work or eating their snack. The teacher was usually with one group in the corner giving a presentation, and the rest of the students were managing themselves. It was always impressive to see a 3 and a 4-year-old just doing a puzzle on their own or eating their own snack. Montessori classrooms often look old-fashioned compared to some of the slick and colorful daycares of today. They look a little more home-like with wood, metal, and even ceramic materials, and very little plastic. Montessori emphasizes process over product, which is why you'll be more likely to see messy artwork that the child did 100% on their own, rather than art where the adult helped make it look picture perfect. I recently toured this school in Chennai and was so impressed with the room that I almost forgot to ask about my favorite things, specials. Do they offer music, art, language, movement, library, or media? This school offered lessons in both English and the local language. They also offered yoga on Wednesdays. How wonderful is that? I also like to ask about extracurriculars and the school event calendar. What holidays do they celebrate? Do they have special events throughout the year? For example, Grandparents' Day? What about field trips, fundraisers, or community projects? These are just some of the things you can think about when touring schools. It's rare to find a school that meets all of your criteria, and sometimes you have limited choices due to your location or budget. In that case, just go with your gut and pick the one that you like best. The last thing I would ask is what are their steps for identifying and working with students with learning disabilities? Can they give examples of how they have accommodated students with learning differences in the past?